Hello everyone. Before starting the lesson, try this warm-up. Expand and simplify. Remember what that means. It means multiply and then add your like terms together. So pause the video and try this. Remember, if you have a number in front of the brackets, it means each term in the brackets is multiplied by that number in front. So 2 times x squared and 2 times 5. This is the simplified expression. If we have this one, well, you've got 2 terms in front of these brackets, so each of these terms is multiplied by each of these terms. So x times x times minus 5, negative 3 times x, and negative 3 times negative 5. These are like terms in the middle, so we can add those together, and we end up with this. Now this is the simplified version of the expression. In this lesson, we're going to talk about multiplying polynomials. So the goal is to simplify polynomials by multiplying. So we're going to just use what we talked about in the warm-up, and we're going to extend upon that. So here's the first example. The height of a ball above the cliff has this function, h of t, height as a function of time. This is the function. The velocity of the ball. Velocity is kind of the same as speed. Let's just think of it as the speed. The velocity as a function of time has this function. The product of these functions shows when the ball moves away from and toward the top of the cliff. So we're going to multiply v of t by h of t. That's what this notation means. We're multiplying the two functions together, and we're going to see what we get when we simplify it. So v of t is this, h of t is this, and I'm going to multiply these two functions together. Now, just like in the warm-up, when I was multiplying two brackets together, every term in one set of brackets was multiplied by every term in the other set of brackets. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Then minus 10t gets multiplied by the minus 5t squared, by the plus 5t, and by the plus 2.5. Then the 5 is going to be multiplied by the minus 5t squared, the 5t, and the 2.5. So when I do that, this is what I get. Negative 10t multiplied by negative 5t squared, well, negative times a negative, that's a positive. 10 times 5 is 50, and t times t squared is t to the exponent 3, t cubed. So just make sure you're paying attention to how many times you're multiplying the variable by itself. And that tells you how many, or what number to put in the exponent. So if you have any issues with where these numbers came from, you should pause the video and let me know. Otherwise, let's keep going. I have to identify my like terms in order to simplify this. And then I can add my like terms together. And we end up with this. 50t cubed has no like terms, so it remains unchanged. Negative 50t squared minus 25t squared is negative 75t squared. Minus 25t plus 25t is 0. And then the plus 12.5 is a constant, and then there's no other constant, so it remains unchanged. So this is the product of the velocity and the height. In this next example, we have a box, a rectangular prism, and we are to determine a simplified function that represents the volume of the box. Let's use the function v of x to represent the volume of the box. We have the length, the width, and the height listed here. And remember, volume is equal to length times width times height. So pause the video and try to find a simplified version of this function. Length times width times height. Do it one piece at a time. I'll do x plus 3 times x plus 2 first. X times x times 2, 3 times x, and 3 times 2. That's where this came from. There's like terms, I simplify it. Here we are. Now I have a trinomial multiplied by a binomial. So each of these three terms in the first set of brackets is multiplied by each of these two terms in the second set of brackets. X squared times x squared times 1. That's where these came from. 5x times x, 5x times 1. That's where these came from. Then 6 times x and 6 times 1. That's where these came from. Look for like terms and add them together. X squared plus 5x squared is 6x squared. 5x plus 6x is 11x. X cubed has no other like terms, and 6 has no other like terms. So this is the simplified function for the volume of the box. Now in this example, we have f of x and g of x, and we are asked, are those two functions equivalent? Now this goes back to the previous lesson. When we found if functions were equivalent, we subtracted one from the other and saw if the answer was 0. If we subtracted one function from the other and we got an answer of 0, then we know that the functions are equivalent. So you can do the same thing with this. Notice that in f of x, this trinomial is squared, so that means you have to multiply 2x plus 3y plus 4z by itself. And then you can use that to figure out if f of x is equal to g of x. So pause the video and try this one on your own. Well, here it is. I'm squaring 2x plus 3y plus 4z. That means I'm multiplying it by itself. 2x times 2x, 2x times 3y, and 2x times 4z. That's where these three terms came from. 3y times 2x, 3y times 3y, 3y times 4z. That's where these three terms came from. Then I have 4z times 2x, 4z times 3y, and 4z times 4z. That's where these three terms came from. I'm subtracting g of x, so that minus sign applies to every term in the brackets. That's where this came from. And that's still down here. I just had to write it on a second line because I ran out of space. Now I identify my like terms. So I've highlighted the x squared terms. Those are like terms, and they cancel out to 0. 6xy and 6xy simplify to 12xy. 8xz plus 8xz simplifies to 16xz. I also have the y squared terms. 9y squared minus 9y squared is 0. They cancel out. 12yz plus 12yz is 24yz. And then I have plus 16z squared minus 16z squared. Those cancel out. It's 0. So this is the simplified version. And I notice it's not equal to 0. So when I subtracted f of x and g of x, I ended up with something that was not equal to 0, which means those functions are not equivalent. Now here's a real challenge for you. Here I have a cylinder with a radius of 2x plus 1 and a height of 2x minus 1. And the challenge is to write simplified expressions for the surface area and the volume. As a reminder, this is how you calculate the surface area of a cylinder. And this is how you calculate the volume of a cylinder. So this is quite a challenge, but I think most of you will be able to do this. Just pause the video and try it and see what happens. And here you go. Substitute in the values for radius and height wherever you need to. Expand and simplify and collect your like terms. If you want an explanation further in more detail of this, just let me know. Otherwise, it's time to practice. So as you're working, reach out for any help that you might need, and I'll do my best to help you.